If you can't, let me share my screen again. Can you guys see that okay? There you go. Okay. Everybody can see it now. All right, let me go back through this just super fast then. So on eBay.com, come up to My eBay up here at the top right and click. Okay. Then when you're there, find the Account tab and click right here where my mouse is. There we go. Hopefully now we're all on the same page. Now you're going to see My eBay views, and you're going to have all these different links down here, down the left-hand side of the page. You're going to come down here to subscriptions. Do you guys all see that? Subscriptions right now? We'll click on that. Okay. Now here's where we're going to subscribe. We're going to find eBay stores right here. There's a little learn more link if you want to read up on them a little bit more. You're going to come to the basic store. 99.9% of you guys who are just first starting this are going to get a basic store. So you're going to come over here and you're going to hit subscribe. That's going to take you to a page that's going to show you the differences in the different types of stores. Okay. So there's a basic level store, which is the one that I'm telling you guys to get when you're ready. There's a premium store, and there's an anchor store. Now again, just to emphasize, if you're brand new in the program, like within the first month, you probably don't need to do this yet. But if you're doing a whole lot of listings, and I'll show you specifically when it's going to make sense financially to get one of these stores, then you'll grab one. So look, I'll go through the different stores here in just a second, but let me have you guys scroll down to this link right here called the Fee Illustrator. Okay, the number one reason why we're going to get you guys onto an eBay store is we want to have you save money on your eBay insertion fees and your eBay final value fees. Okay, that's really at the core of why we're doing this. So if you have a normal eBay account, right? If you just have a normal one that you set up with, whether it's a personal or a business account, if you have a normal account, as of right now, you're supposed to get 50 free listings every month. And all that means is it's free of an insertion fee. So you get 50 free listings. On your 51st listing of the month, you'll be charged a 30-cent insertion fee. Now that also means that let's say you only have 10 items on your eBay account, but there's 7-day listings and they all fall off after 7 days and you relist all 10, that counts as 20 total listings. Okay, so every time you have something fall off and you relist again, that also counts as a listing. So keep that in mind. So that 50 number really isn't that many. If you start doing a whole ton of listings in a month, you're going to start racking up these 30-cent insertion fees. And in order to avoid that, that's why we set up with one of these stores. So again, if you're brand new, it's not a big deal. You can wait on it, consult with your coach as to when you need to get one. However, I'm going to show you this Fee Illustrator real quick. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. And I'll pull this up on my screen so you guys can see it. This is what the Fee Illustrator looks like. I'm going to send out the link to all of you guys that are here live with me. Several times, if need be. I actually sent it out like 3 times. So you guys should all get that. Okay. By the way, Michelle, I'm not sure on that. So I think I mentioned that to you earlier. Hopefully you guys all got the link, okay? So you'll notice here on the Fee Illustrator that they kind of want to gauge how much you sell to tell you whether or not it makes sense to get a store. And I guess it really depends on how much you sell and how much you list. And I know you guys who are newer, maybe you're not making a ton of sales, but maybe you're doing a lot of listings. So let's just say, for example, they're going to ask you right here at the top, tell us your average monthly sales, and we'll go into that. But it says, which category do you primarily sell in? We'll pick a general one. Pick baby. as an example, because sometimes that makes a difference on the category. But pick baby is a general rule. And it says, how many listings do you create monthly? Well, only you know that, but we'll give you an example. Let's say you're kind of a newer seller and you're doing listing and relisting about 75 listings a month, okay? They want to know how many auctions versus fixed price. The majority of yours should be fixed price if you're following what we teach really well. So about 75, we'll say. And it says, if you're a top-rated seller, how many of your listings are top-rated plus listings? Well, we'll skip that. Most of you guys at this point wouldn't be a top-rated seller, so we'll skip that question. How many items do you sell monthly? Well, let's say you're selling, I don't know, 10% or so. So we'll put, or a little less than 10% of your listings. So we'll put you made 6 sales in the past month, okay? And your average sales price was, maybe $50. I know a lot of these are just estimates, but these would be real numbers that you would be putting in to this fee calculator after you've had about a month's worth of work on eBay to figure out if it would make sense to get a store. What's your average shipping cost? We're going to say 0 because we're doing drop shipping, okay? Choose a subscription monthly. Let's hit calculate. Okay, so a person like this, it then populates this section right over here, okay? And it's going to show you, based on your inputs, it's going to show you, okay, well, this is what you should do. And based on our inputs of 75 listings, 6 sales, average sale price of 50, it's saying that really you probably shouldn't get a store. Your total estimated eBay fees with those inputs looks to be about $37.50. If you had one of these stores, a basic store would cost you $46.95 at these inputs. A premium store would be $86.84 at these inputs, and an anchor store would be $226.72 at these inputs. So in other words, you're not doing enough here to even merit getting a store with those kind of numbers. Now, after being in our program for a month or so, you're probably doing much more than this. You may be listing, 130 listings during a calendar month and making more like, 14 sales during that month, and your average sales price might even be a little bit more. So if we put in these kind of inputs and hit calculate, it looks like it's going to recommend at that point a basic level store. And you'll see that here in this column right here. It says, based on what you're saying here, your fees, if you had a store, would be $114.45, and if you didn't, your fees would be $129. So you would definitely save money if you had a basic store at that level. So I would imagine most of my clients really need an eBay store at about the 1 month mark, maybe the 5 or 6 week mark, depending on what you're doing volume wise. Obviously talk to your coach about it and feel comfortable coming in and playing with this fee illustrator, because certainly we don't want to have you sign up for a store, because a store is going to cost you $20 a month as a flat fee. We don't want to have you do that unless it makes good fiscal sense. And what I'm saying is, based on these inputs in this example, it would, because it's including this store fee of $20 a month and that $114.45. It would make sense at that point to have an eBay store, okay? So you can run the numbers, but even if you choose not to, as a general rule, if you're listing over 100 items in a month, you're probably right on the verge of needing a store, and you should probably just get one. That would be my recommendation. My favorite part of having a store is the fact that instead of 50 free listings, you're going to have 200. And so this is how a store saves you money. I'm going to come up here to where we were just a few minutes ago, where we're subscribing to a store. So again, you go into your eBay account, your My eBay, you click on account, you find your subscription section, and then you go to the subscription for the basic store. That brings up this page, and it's going to show you the differences. You can do $15.95 a month if you pay for the year, I would recommend just doing this one right here, this $20 a month, $19.95 a month. The insertion fees are, you get 200 free instead of 50, so that's an extra 150, which definitely makes a difference. You get lower final value fees, so whenever you sell something, instead of 10% coming off the top, you'll only pay anywhere from 6 to no, more like 5 to 9% or something. It's lower. So if you're a high volume seller, and hopefully all of you guys will become just that, you'll make a ton of money and save a bunch of money just by virtue of the fact that you're saving on your final value fees. Okay. Now, at what point do you need a premium store or an anchor store? Well, we can always run numbers off of that calculator, but usually it's down the line a little bit, because you can see this is substantially higher. The premium store is around $50 a month, 60 if you're doing month by month, and $200 a month for an anchor store if you're going month by month. But that's if you're doing thousands of listings a month, then all of a sudden those become relevant. At this point, you guys will be doing the basic store. Okay. So hopefully you guys, after that little conversation there, you can say, okay, I think I know the when behind a store. Okay, now the how is kind of what we're doing right now. You can actually just slide down to the bottom of your screen. It's going to ask you to choose a store name. I probably just leave it my eBay username for now. We're not really going to do a lot of branding in our eBay store, not early on anyway. So you could call it, this is Trevor's Superstore, or whatever, or just leave it your eBay username, right? The store name doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. So don't spend a lot of time on that. You would hit continue here, and then it would take you on through the process of actually finalizing your monthly payment for the store. Okay? So consult with your coach if you're not sure when all this should take place. Now I'm going to open it up for questions for just a second. Hopefully this is pretty clear on the what is a store, the when do you get a store, and how do you set up a store. For those of you guys who are here live with me, do you have any questions about this? And Breaky, let me comment on what you just said. Breaky said on Wednesday, eBay offered me to list 1,000 items for free. Didn't know why, as I don't have that many items listed right now on eBay. So here's what that is, Breaky. That's eBay running a promotion every once in a while. Sometimes if you'll notice your eBay inbox, or if you watch your email, eBay will send out these listing promotions where they say, hey, just for the weekend or for the next 3 or 4 days, we're going to give you the right to list 1,000 items for free, no insertion fees. When they say for free, they're talking specifically about insertion fees. If you sold the item, Breaky, you would still be paying the final value fee. That free is just talking about those 30-cent insertion fees that would come after you hit your typical monthly allotment, which is 50 free listings for a normal eBay account, 200 for one of these basic level stores. Okay. All right, so I'm not getting a lot of questions. This must be pretty clear. I'm gonna post this up online so you guys can see it later on. If you're considering a store, talk to your coach about it. I would just ratify it through your coach first to make sure it's a good decision. But you have the tools here at your disposal to figure out for yourself if it's the right time. And most of you guys who are doing drop shipping, a big part of the strategy is volume listing, lots of listings going up at one time, which means in order to avoid all those little nickel and dime type fees, an eBay store is going to be the right decision. You're going to save a ton, massive amounts of money just through insertion fees. Okay, good. Well, guys, if nothing else, then let's go ahead and finish up. I'm going to turn off the recording here. For those of you guys who are watching this recorded, thanks for coming along.